we've been working for Trump for 25 years, and there's been said a lot. Just a thought to us what it was and who is Trump?
I guess I'll answer it in two ways. The first is I worked for him 20 years in the private sector, almost 3 years at the White House. In 23 years, we got into one disagreement. So all the nonsense that you're hearing, from the different books that are out there to attack him and how some of the news media portray him, that was not my experience. My experience was somebody who was decisive, somebody who always had a thirst to get deals done, to make progress, didn't like to take no for an answer, but who also listened. So if I went into his office, whether in the private sector or at the White House, and he had some ideas and I disagreed, I was able to air my thoughts. Sometimes he agreed, sometimes he didn't. He didn't agree, but he would listen to everyone, and then he would make his decision. As the owner of the company in the private sector, as the President of the United States, he's allowed to do that. When people complain and they don't like that they don't get listened to, well, he was elected president, we weren't. The second thing, I think, probably the best way you could understand him is with the announcement, the recognition of Jerusalem and moving the embassy to Jerusalem. So you had all these people who, after, we kept it very tight. We weren't going to telegraph what we were doing because we understood that people would try to undermine the decision. And when it finally, when we finally started sharing the news, he got so many phone calls. We all did, but the president got so many phone calls. You can't do it. This is what's going to happen. There's going to be a war. There's going to be this. There's going to be that. He has a way of understanding, reading the situation, taking advice, and nevertheless being courageous. You had president after president who made promises to do it. Nobody's kept their word. They all use this convenient waiver. He's the only one who has tenacity to get things done and to read the situation. And here we are, several years later. He read the situation correctly. It was all nonsense. So I think those two stories kind of tell you the Donald Trump that I know.
Is he personable? Is he more like, his human side? He doesn't look human sometimes.
Very personable. First of all, he's actually quite funny. Very warm. When my kids used to fly in his plane with him to Florida, he would walk up and down the aisles offering them snacks. He'd look at the back of the package to determine whether that was kosher. But he was always respectful to me and my wife and my kids.